Hello there folks, welcome to my studio for another really exciting watercolour adventure. We're going to do a little watercolour demo. Bluebells are out here in force in the UK. It's currently the 29th of April 2022, so bluebells are out in force. So looking forward to this one. It's going to be a cracker. I literally have a white piece of paper here ready to go, and that is it. I'm going to create this from scratch. We are currently live here in the UK. The sun is shining in Derbyshire. Got Bolsover Castle right over there. We are here, we are live, and we're going to enjoy this. Now, if you want to watch this back at a later stage, please do. Have a go at painting it yourself. But I am working pretty quickly. This is going to be a quick watercolour demo. A nice, fast, quick-paced demo today, folks. So do check that out. Now, before I go any further, I just want to quickly, if you could, subscribe if you've not already to the channel. That really does mean a lot for us YouTube creators. Hit the notification bell, which has just gone off the screen. It was up there, little Pac-Man ghost there, and that means that it helps the algorithm. It helps the algorithm which YouTube scans across these videos, and it just means that we have more chance of getting more people watching. And also, give us a thumbs up, give us a like. Liking a video is a huge thing to do. That really does make quite a difference, so do make sure you please hit that like button. We've got 19 likes, so just give us a like. Now, if you want a big shout out, folks, there's also super chat running in the live chat. So if you've got the live chat, you can also hit the super chat again, which is a donation to the channel. It's a donation to the running of the YouTube channel, because we do all this for free. We just enjoy it, basically. It's good fun. And also, before I start painting, just want to quickly mention this, folks. If anyone's interested in painting along with a nice, relaxed bit of tuition, we've got this coming up on Sunday the 1st of May 2022. Paint a lighthouse by the sea with striking cliffs, golden sands and beautiful sunset sky. This is something what is... you pay for this. It's £10 for this workshop. It's a £10 fee, and it's basically just me teaching you how to produce a watercolour picture using just 3 primary colours. You've got the yellow, which is natural yellow light, or something like a lemon yellow or cadmium yellow or something like that. You've got red, which is natural red or crimson or something similar, and then you've got the blue, which in this particular case is natural blue. But any blue, any red, any yellow, and 3 brushes, which are the 3 brushes that you can actually see here, which is a large, medium and small brush. So these 3 brushes with those 3 colours, and you will produce a watercolour picture. And that's pretty much the materials what I'm using for this picture here today. So I've got these brushes. These are my brand new, these are my own range of brushes. They're called Super Point brushes. You can see that. Matthew Palmer Super Point, large, medium and small. 3 brushes, large, medium and small. As far as colours, we'll mention the colours as we progress, but I'm pretty much going to be using my own brand of paints here. For example, we've got some natural violet. We're going to be using some of that. That's perfect for bluebells. And I've squirted all of these into the palette, all kind of ready for action. We'll talk about colours as we progress. So I'm going to be using the pointy brushes. I'm also going to be using my range of tree and texture brushes as well. This one being the largest one, so I'm going to use those. And I'm literally straight into this, so I don't need to do any sketching or anything here. We're straight in to the picture. There is a white sheet of watercolour paper stuck to a board. Nice and easy for this one. And I'm going to go straight in and produce this picture. My first thing I want to do is take some masking tape, remove the stickiness from it. Yes, that is the tape making that sound. And I'm going to pop this about 1/3 of the way up, and I'm going to sort of bring it down. Something like that. Probably a bit of a change in direction. Bring that up. So this is going to be a pretty quick process, around 40 minutes painting time. It depends. I mean, this is live. It's hard to know exactly. But that paper I'm using here is Quarter Imperial, which is about 11 by 15. Size is kind of irrelevant with this kind of work, so don't worry too much. It is my own brand of paper. It's stuck to a board. It's a knot surface, which is the middle surface, and the weight of the paper is 300 gram or 140 pound. that is it. It's ready to go. And I'm just going to create a mess on a piece of paper. So do stick with us. Do stick with us. And as it says there, do subscribe as well. Means a lot. Let's get stuck in. Let's get over to the palette first. Let's get a few colours prepped for this. There we go. Okay. Large brush, whatever that may be, some kind of a large brush is basically what I've got here. No idea how much of a mess this is going to be until we do it. Colours wise, I'm just going to add, in fact I'm going to actually have a bit of a clean up here because this palette's disgusting, Palmer. Give it a clean. Clean it up, give it a clean. And you know what, I'm going to get straight into this. Just going to put water on. Just literally going to put water on here. Just water. Nothing else. Straight down to the tape, wetting the surface 2 times, 3 times. So that's add a couple of coats of water there. And I'm going to go straight in and take some nice bright yellow from the palette, literally straight into the blob. And I want to twist it in. Laying the brush flat to the paper. Over here as well. Straight up to the top. Springtime obviously is when you see the bluebells, so that's the perfect time to get the paint flow in here. So that's the yellow. It's very bright, isn't it? Clean that brush really well. And we'll take some blue next. I'm just going to use some blue here. I'm going to sweep the blue in actually. Sweep it in. Work it down in between the gaps. And start to bring it into the green as well a little bit. And start to twist over the top of the green. Over the yellow, which will cause it to go green. That's what I meant to say. A nice twist. It'll grow on you, this. Trust me. I'm an artist. It will improve with age. I want to change brushes. Now I want to go for this brush, which is actually a tree and texture brush. These are designed for the job. These are lovely tools to work with. I'm going to mix my 2 greens together. Natural green and natural green light. These are my own 2 greens, what I have available to purchase on the website. You can pick them up. They are beautiful. They do work really nice. Stipple the brush. Slow motion. Wait for it. Back to normal. On the kitchen paper. The wonders of modern technology. Let's stipple. Look at this. Bluebell woods. Getting the foliage in. Get that foliage in. Give it a good old stipple, folks. The paint is damp. Is it me or is it moist? The paint is a bit fresh. The paper's fresh. The paper's cotton, so it means that the paint's going to spread in a really nice fashion. And I'm just literally stippling the brush with this kind of spiky bristle here, which works exceptionally well. And we're just going to fill all these bits in. We're going to continue across and we're going to work his way up here. And you see it works nice with what you've painted behind, so these nice kind of distant areas. They are trees, so obviously they're going to grow on you, but we'll get there. We will get there. What could possibly go wrong? Yes, we're stippling away. The paint is moving, the paint is spreading, the paint is bleeding. Let's get some coming down from this top piece, shall we? Bring it down. This is going to be kind of speed painting. The workshops that take place, the virtual workshops that take place on a weekend, and the one this weekend, as we mentioned, is a lighthouse by the sea with beautiful beach and various other things. That one is happening 1st of May, but there's pretty much one every weekend. Just head on over to the website and you'll see when a current one. And the subject, we are coming up on workshop 100, which is really cool. So I've been teaching these for 100 sessions now, these virtual classes, and they're really nice. We've got 33 likes, but we've got 85 people watching. So come on, you just got to press that like button. It does make a difference. It really does. Makes a huge difference. There we go. It's quite addictive, and as the paper starts to dry, you start to get more of an effect. With sharper, cleaner areas. How nice they are. So this is a lot. This is a lot of paint. The brush is like a deer foot, but this is made out of a special bristle, so it's not the same as a standard deer foot. This one, it is called a tree and texture brush, and there's actually 3 different sizes available that you can actually pick up. Okay. 46 likes. Let's try and get 50. We're gonna need 4 more. Let's put some darkness at the bottom. 4 more, and you've nailed it. You can smell the fear. Working right down into this area. Beautiful. I'm going to pop a little bit at the top. So a good paper stays wet for a long time. So we have quite a lot of time to work here before it starts to dry too much on us. There we go. There's a little bit of a strange edge appearing here, so for that I'm just going to use this little brush, which is called a lift out brush. Again, it's one of my own little inventions. Nice and clean through the tissue, and a gentle little stipple, little drag will just remove that harshness before it gets too dry. Super. Okay, just going to go a little bit darker at the bottom in this corner here. There we go. Bro, I'm going to use a plastic card or a palette knife at this point. I've actually got a palette knife here. I've got a palette knife. And we're going to have a bit of a scrape up of some trees. Lots of pressure, and then less pressure as you go higher. So I'm actually scratching away. We'll get a bit closer, and we are zooming in live. So if you're watching this back after the 29th of April 22, this was originally broadcast live, so there's no editing as such in the stream. So bear that in mind. This is just a metal palette knife. You can pick these up for next to nothing off places like Amazon or somewhere like that. Which is really good over here as well. Now, if you want to sort of paint along at your own steady pace, then that's where you do one of these virtual workshops. How many people actually in the comments in the live chat do actually take place in those workshops? They pretty much take place every weekend, really, and they are really nice. Obviously, this only works if the background is wet, so working at a relatively quick pace here. Quite effective, isn't it, that? You know, it just gives a sense of sort of depth to the trees and various things. Pop the branches at the top. And even just little flicks of your palette knife is enough just to give that impression of that sort of dense kind of woodland. I think that's nice. That's giving us a really nice look. Look at that, come on, you can see the beautiful colours there. You can see that nice kind of textured area. We can take the tape away nice and steady to leave that crisp, clean edge. That's beautiful. The mist, the way the blue's dried off, the way that you got the yellow, the kind of sunlit yellow at the top. And that's using these natural colours, which are my own particular brand of watercolours. You can see them here. So I've used natural green light. These are all available to purchase on Watercolour TV. You can get them all on the website. There's the website at the top of the screen. In fact, I'll pop it just over that corner so you can see it. There it is. Watercolour.tv, folks. The website's had a huge update recently, which I'll talk about in a second. These are the brand new brushes as well. These are the Super Points. There's a link in the description if you'd like to pick up the brushes. If you purchase the new brushes, the Super Point brushes, you do actually get them with a free video, which is being broadcast in a couple of weeks' time. This is the brand new website, folks. Now, I've been online, crikey, since the late 90s, but here we've got the new version of Watercolour TV, which is an absolute cracker, folks. Watercolour TV has got lots and lots of watercolour tuition, including some lovely, gorgeous membership deals. Now, if you're a member of Watercolour TV, not only do you get 10% off the art shop, which includes the new brushes, but all of the products, from the paint to the paper to the gift vouchers to the DVDs, they all have 10% off if you're a member. But the main reason people join Watercolour TV is because you get access to these beautiful watercolour lessons. There is literally hundreds of watercolour tutorials. This is the latest one here, which is paint this lovely sort of beach scene. There's a toucan in watercolours. We've got squirrels. We've got this girl fishing. There's some really good stuff. I can show you a sneaky peek of that, actually. Let's see if it works. There you go. So this is kind of how your membership works. It's free for 30 days to join Watercolour TV as well, and you get access to these nice high definition videos that only are available to members. Okay, so do make sure you check them out. And this one is painted seascape with boat on the beach. Never been a better time to join Watercolour TV, and it's also available to book the workshop as well. So if you want to book on to the painting workshop that's happening this weekend, Sunday the 1st of May, there's one pretty much every single week, folks. Do make sure you check it out online. There's a link right at the top of the screen here. It says book now. If you click that, and that is the page for the actual workshop, and very simply you just add to basket. And the way these workshops actually work is, once you've actually purchased the workshop, so I'm talking while my picture dries, by the way, sorry, stick with me. It's like, otherwise I could do that and it's like watching paint dry. You know what I'm saying? Of course you do. Or I could leave that shot. Or we'll come back to this. Let's come back to this. So Sunday 1st of May, paint a stunning lighthouse by the sea with striking cliffs. Now, it's only £10 for the workshop, or $11.50 if you're in America. You can watch live, or you can watch it anytime again and again. So once you purchase the workshop, it is yours to keep forever. It also includes a little bit of a giveaway as well. So if you are taking part in the workshop, there's £150 worth of art materials to give away during the workshop. Here's a little bit more information for you. And you don't have to be there live. You can watch it at any time. And as Lorraine has mentioned in the chat, a £10 workshop to even watch at your leisure is wonderful. It's a great way to learn painting, complete step by step, folks. That's how these things actually do work. So do make sure you check it out. Link in the description. I'd love to see you there on the workshop on Sunday. We're down to the bottom here. We're down to the bottom. Got a pencil. And I want to come down here and do that. So I want to sketch in a little bit of a footpath in this woodland. So a little bit of a footpath, is going to creep in. And I'll paint the footpath in first. I've got a size 10 brush, and I'm going to be using some natural yellow. This is a sandstone colour. I've also got some of the grey hanging around as well, right there. Natural grey. So I've used natural yellow, which is a dark yellow, and then there I've got some natural grey. And very simply, I just want to paint in this little bit of a trackway. I want to give it some texture. So paint it in a bit of a dry brush style, little horizontal lines, like so. And then I picked up some of that grey. Now, natural grey is the colour that everybody needs. It's the colour of shadows. It really is an essential one, is natural grey. It's a beautiful colour for creating depth and adding a lovely bit of shadow detail to an area. So we'll just bring this into play here. Turn the picture around if you need to. And I've kind of got the brush slightly dry, so there's not a huge amount of paint. And if you think, well, this is a bit quick for me, that's where those workshops come into play. The workshops make the process a little bit more relaxed. So I've left some white pieces, and for me, I imagine them to be little puddles or something, you know? So if I take a spiky brush here and just add a little bit of depth, you can almost make it look as though you've got some that little sort of puddles, and those little sort of striking spiky lines that come down weirdly will give that impression as though you've got a little bit of a puddle creeping around. That's quite effective, like a little bit of a gravel sort of track. There's two skin tones that I've got as part of my natural range of paints, and there's skin tone light, skin tone dark. I want to take skin tone dark, which is a nice kind of rusty tone of colour, and I want to use this in the foreground just to give a bit of brightness to this. Again, I'm really utilising the paper here, folks. I'm making use of the textured surface of the paper for this particular area. That works really well. Same brush, you know, let me paint in some sort of blue belly areas. Blue belly, we'll do this side first. Blue belly. Natural violet is a great colour for bluebells. Again, it's part of my range of paints. It's a very cold violet. It's a bluey violet, but there it is. We've got that. Natural violet. We're also going to take some natural green, the light green. Pre-mix to replicate nature, these colours. So natural green light, as well as the violet. Let's start off with the violet, and we'll go straight into this thing. Ooh! Obviously, it's not going to be a massive all blue. You're going to get little bits of green. Hence the reason for having the light green. And the light green is going to weave very loosely in these gaps. And then we're going to take water on some kitchen paper towel, and just add a bit of water just to sort of blend it all together. So literally I'm just using water here. This is just the next stage. We're going to be adding some detail to this as we progress through picture. Get some shadows, but look how you can blend the paint in. It's just using water, quick dip of the brush on some kitchen paper. You can always get a bit more colour on the edges should you wish, but I mean that's quite a nice sort of colour already for bluebells. But I'm encouraging the paint to mix. I'm going to creep a little bit of that in this corner here as well, just a touch deeper I think with the paint. So, and then we'll get the green on as well. I think a slightly darker green would actually work nice there. So natural green, the darker tone, it's just called natural green basically, and that'll creep in quite nice in that edge. And then again back to the violet, which is just going to creep in there, and also just going to pop in a few little bits of slightly deeper violet as well. Now don't be afraid that I'm working quickly here, folks. This is because it's a demo and I'm conscious that people have got better things to do than watch paint dry. But if you want to be really taught on a very steady casual process, you know what I want to mention, don't you? The workshop, Sunday the 1st of March, May even. Watch it live or watch it afterwards. Beautiful Lighthouse by the sea for £10 or $11.50. You can't go wrong, really. You can watch them anywhere in the world. And it's like private tuition. It's just me and thee. Just me and thee in the room. Nobody else. Just me and thee. That's all it is. Me and thee. Bit more of that violet just to add into this corner here. Beautiful. And then again that little bit of green just to create a bit of an edge. So that's quite a good coverage you see already. We've got a nice coverage. I'm conscious that I don't want any white bits, so just going to make sure they're hidden. And going to get quite a nice rich violet there. Beautiful violet, stronger colour. And just going to go in and paint in some areas of texture. We're going to make this look more as though there's flowers, but this is just the background at this particular stage of the picture. Using a size 10 brush or a large super point brush. There we go. So that's where we are so far. We've got quite a nice coverage, and that's come together quite quickly. It's now time to pull in some detail. It's a totally different style. If you look at the kind of paintings that you can see here, these are very detailed pictures, and the one that we did, actually I've got it, have I? Yes, oh, just want to lean here, one sec. This is a painting that we did last weekend. This is while things are drying. I need to let that dry for a minute. Here we've got a painting of some elephants against Mount Kilimanjaro with these acacia trees in the foreground. And this was one of the virtual workshops that we keep talking about, these live virtual workshops. So there was X number of people taking part in this, and it was a really nice experience to have a go at. If you've never done one, do please in the chat give people some encouragement. For £10, 3 primary colours was all we used to create this beautiful painting of these elephants against the mountain. All we used was a bright yellow, a blue, a red, and the 3 standard brushes, large, medium and small. It's all you need, and you will produce a beautiful picture. You really, really will. And it is one to enjoy, folks. It really, really is. So do make sure you have a little think about booking in to something like that. I know I keep talking about it, but a lot of time and effort goes into these, and the detail that you get from those pictures compared to this little quick demo is massive. It really is. So you will produce a painting. You just got to stick with it. Super. Well, that's kind of starting to dry now. Brush wise, at this point, I'm going to change brushes. I'm going to go for the smallest of the tree and texture brushes, which is there. Compare that to the large one. It's the little baby sister. And I'm also going to be using a bit of scrap paper at this particular point as well, which I've got hanging around here. Okay, working in the foreground of the picture then, this is what we're going to be doing. I'm going to mix together quite a dark colour. I think it's dark green. So tiny bit of water. Natural green, the darkest one. I'm going to pop some grey, some natural grey in there to make it a little bit darker. A bit of water to make the paint flow. There we go. And then just a bit of on kitchen paper. So it's a very small version of the tree and texture brush, okay? Back to the picture, what we're going to be doing is popping this on the edge. I'm just going to stipple in a little bit of darkness, as it were. Just to create an edge. And we can be quite creative with how we do this, because we can start to go up in between. Look at that, I've got a green fingernail. You can start to go up in between some of these areas here. Almost make it like little sort of bushes and various things. And it's a great way of sharpening up the edge. I could always pop in some little bits of foliage and various things, and anywhere that you feel using this edge, it's quite nice to add that little bit of contrast. As we get further away, I want to be doing less and less of this because less detail. But this is quite a dark colour I'm using here, actually. And actually going into the base of the trees and putting some of this dark in as well will really help. Because what it'll do is it'll give shadow, you see. There we go. Quite nice, isn't it, that? Because it allows you to create like a depth effect. Which is really quite effective, actually. Along this area here as well. So it's literally adding a bit of shadow, undergrowth to the trees. Now, if you get any hard bits that you're not liking, just literally get a bit of water and stipple above, and what they'll do is blend those hard bits into your picture, creating a little bit. I mean, this is a quick and easy watercolour. That's the idea here, nothing too adventurous. I'd like to have sort of 45 minutes painting time on this. I've been painting now for about 25 minutes, maybe, something like that. Let's grab the smallest of my sort of detail brushes, and this one is a small super point brush, which is just a nice quality size 6 brush, basically. I want to go quite dark here, and I want to introduce more grey and even drop in some natural brown as well, which will really darken that colour off. So natural brown mixed with natural grey. There's the tubes I'm using. You can see them right there. So really quite a crisp colour. It's nice just to rotate the brush over the edge of your palette. That really helps get that nice sort of sharpness. Can you see that nice pointy brush? Back to the picture. What I'm going to do here, folks, is I'm just going to get close into this, and I'm really going to sharpen up some of these edges. And I'm literally holding this thing like a pencil, resting on the edge. I mean, not everyone's got the time to sit down for 5 or 6 hours and paint a picture. I'm lucky that I do this for a living, so I make time. But it's important to give yourself time. If you want to do art, give yourself time to do it. And I know I keep talking about it, but those live virtual watercolour workshops are a wonderful way to do that, because it puts time to one side that you wouldn't normally have, and it'll say, right, okay, I want to get stuck in, and I want to either sit and watch Matthew and paint along live. And what's interesting about those workshops is they do give you time to work as well. It's not like this one racing through it, sort of like Billy Whiz, copyright Beano comic. I'm actually working steady and give you time, and then we'll even give you a chance to ask questions, and you can send in your own photographs of your painting for review. And if you're thinking, well, I'm a bit unsure about people watching me, nobody sees you, it's just you and me. And I don't even see you, it's just you seeing me. So it's a really good way to do it. It is. And I'm sure people that are in the comments will give some nice encouragement to get people going on this. Let's put some shadows coming in, coming down here from these background areas. This is using natural grey again. So imagine these are shadows of trees. You can pop a few branches on these. Get the branches splaying open. It's a great way to add a bit of shape and form. You can see that kind of cast effect. If I come back with the camera, you'll see that even better actually. Pop a few little bits around here as well. Just going to darken this back edge a little bit here. So we have a bit of a rainy trackway going through. We've got these beautiful trees. I love the way the trees have been created with those tree and texture brushes. If you've just joined me live, folks, do make sure you watch this back. It's a very quick demo today, but hopefully it's an enjoyable one that you will enjoy. I'm going to put some more detail into the bluebells in a second or two, but that really is a little bit of time to dry again. So somewhere floating around, bear with. Somewhere floating around, I've got a video that talks about the workshops. Let's take a look at this here. This is the official ad break. So here you can see we're painting in this beautiful, this was actually a blue monarch butterfly that was painted against a cosmos flower. I think it's cosmos. And again, that was done on a workshop. I'll break down the sketching for you and look at the quality of the actual broadcast you get. So you get super definition. If the picture involves sketching, we'll break it down. Here we've got a canal with a barge in an old sort of pub. Yeah, and it's a really cool way to do it, and that was the end result, of course, there. Here was one of my favourites. This was a little bit of a cottage garden, a thatched, English thatched cottage garden, and that was a really nice one to showcase detail. Here we're painting in the Northern Lights as well. I love that picture. Have a look at the end picture in a second, you'll see it pop up. That's painting the little sort of stream creeping through the woods there. Love that. And then this was one of the still lifes that we did. We've actually taught 99 live workshops over the past 2 years. And it's kind of changed people's lives, and I hope it's changed your life as well. There you go. So that's just a little bit of an insight into how those workshops actually do work. And it's been a great... I've been very lucky to teach people around the world for many years. I've wrote many books. I've got my own products, and if you want to have a look at what I'm talking about, have a look at the website again here. Just go on to allthews.watercolour.tv. I'm sorry I keep talking about this, but a lot of time and effort goes into this. Go onto the art shop page and you'll see all the products we've got. Here's the latest products, the beautiful super points. I've got my own range of watercolours, as you can see here. And yeah, it's just a great thing. If I go to the workshop page as well, at the top of the screen, and actually click on the previous workshops, you can see here there is a huge collection of paintings that we've actually done. Recent ones, Venice. So a lovely collection, and you can purchase the previous ones as well. So lots of exciting stuff to do, folks, and there's no greater time than to start sat down and chuck the paint on a bit of paper this Sunday. One more time, here it is, 1st of May. Do book in, folks, link in the description. Chance to win £150 worth of art materials, 3 colours, 3 brushes, and you'll be all set. So here we're nice and dry for this. I've just got the number 6 brush and I'm just kind of pottering along with my brush and adding little bits of extra texture sort of here and there. I am going to do a little bit of splattering. Let's get close into this with some darkness. Just sort of tap the brush against the paper, against my finger, and that'll put little bits of pebbles and little bits of texture on. I could even do some of that with the violet as well, actually. Get some natural violet splatters. Nice deep colour. If you want to play it safe, then you would protect your sky. So if you get some kitchen paper and just lay it down over the bit you don't want to splatter, and then you can splatter away just by taking your finger and just sort of doing that. It's quite effective. It does help to give a bluebell effect. Random massive flowers. Obviously I'm focusing more so in the foreground here because that's where you'd expect it to be. In this corner as well. Pop some little bits on. But look at that, it's pebble dash the table. One bit first time. Let's just bring that across. That's quite effective, isn't it? I like that. And if I do some splatters going in this direction as well, going up, so you get that variation on shape and what have you. That's quite cool. Nice. And then I've got the tree brush. This time I'm going to be using the medium one. So we've used the large one, which we have here. We've used the small one, which we have here. We've now got the medium size one to talk about. So there's 3 of the tree and texture brushes. I've got the medium one right there. Yes, Watercolour TV members do get 10% off as well of all this stuff, including the workshops. Yeah, everything. Bash in the brush on the tissue. Get the spikiness, get your fingers into it, look beautiful. A little bit closer in, I think, for this. I'm just going to pop in some little areas of bluebells. It's obviously a mass of, is what we're talking about here. So it doesn't want a huge amount, just a little bit. And like I say, it's all about speed here. It's a quick picture. For me, that was always the point of this demo today. Nice and speedy for people. Using the brush on the side there, with the violet. Get some, it's kind of like a shaded area there. It's quite nice. It's all about saving time. Nice little bit of foreground area. What I'm going to do is mix some grey with the violet, because I want to refine some areas here. Almost create little sort of shaded areas. So I'm actually working into these little, almost like little sort of feet where the banking meets the area. Even just bring a few slightly darker trees coming up here. Think about which brush you use. I'm using this one, but I can just get that impression of a few darker branches. This is a size 6 brush, but it's a very pointy one. So if yours is not as pointy as this, then think about changing the brush. So a few dark branches just to weave in. Let's turn it around. How are we doing for painting time? I've been painting for 37 minutes-ish now, so we're not doing bad. Obviously you can put as much time as you want into this. I'm sort of working within the time I've got. Painting something like branches upside down like this, because you should always paint them in the direction they grow. It looks look more natural that way, but that just adds a nice bit of interest to it, don't it? That's come back a bit. That's good, isn't it? I like that. With a few little random flicks here and there. I want to leave that because I like that little bit. That's quite interesting. I want to leave that alone, which is nice. So it comes together, don't it? Let's just sharpen up that back edge a little bit. It's good. Happy with that. Happy with that. Over to the palette then. I've got this scrap paper here. I've got my own white paint, which is natural white, which is a lovely jubbly. We're going to use that. And we're going to take some violet and mix it with. So you could use white gouache here or something similar, but some kind of nice bright colour. You can probably just about make out that I've mixed violet with some of my white. This is a super opaque white colour, and I'm going to be using this just to put a few little lighter areas of flowers. They might be woodland, can't think of the name of the flower, someone tell me in the comments. Woodland something, can't remember the name. Or just some sunlit bluebells, which appear lighter. But that's quite nice, that little bit of brightness in the foreground there. It's just a great way to lighten things up a little bit. Over here as well, get a little bit of light coming in. It just kind of breaks up all this darkness. If I get really close in, you'll see even better what I'm trying to do here. So I'm sort of working on these edges. It's almost making the edge look a little bit more like a massive bluebell, because obviously bluebells do have, you know, that sort of huge mixture. But look how that kind of breaks up that harsh line in the picture, which is really effective. Down here as well, look, get some. Can sort of sweep it up as well. If you didn't quite get the puddle effect, then you could always pop some little horizontal lines of that around there as well. But I think pretty much we're good there. I want to bring a few little bits coming down here. Now what that'll do is give the impression as though the sunlight is kind of streaming through. Yeah, because we've got the dark, we've got the shadows, now we're putting in the light. And I'm quite a fan of white paint. I think it's a great thing to have in watercolours. I know it's not traditional, but you know, who cares? Anything goes. And a lot of people that have used the whites know that I'm quite a fan of them. That's good. A bit of texture here and there. It's amazing how much of a difference it makes when you start to bring something like white into play. Creates a lovely textured area. And I want to give the picture a bit of scale now. Little bit of scale is going to creep in. So it's me, Mr. Palmer. I love painting my fence posts and texture and stuff. So I want to take a rich brown. Natural brown is the colour I'm using. It's very powerful, is natural brown. It's a lovely colour. It's got quite a lot of red in it. And I'm going to use that to paint in some little fence posts in the picture. Sort of weaving between some of these areas, I think. So I want to bring them down here. This will give us a bit of scale. Not essential that we do this, I don't think, but for me personally, I think it will really add something to the picture. It helps to give a bit of scale, you can see how that just goes in there like an old rustic fence post, but a few supports. I can always drop a few little sort of shadows and things on that if I need to do that as well. I'm just going to darken the base of some of these areas. How are we doing for time? So I've been painting out just over 40 minutes, so getting towards the end of this thing now. Put some shadows on there. I'm just using some grey paint there, folks. It's optional, of course, for a little fence, but I always think they look quite effective. Just helps to make the area stand up a little bit, and it just kind of brings it into play, don't it? It sort of gives your mind a little chance to pick up some scale. I want to do some over this side as well, actually. Doesn't need it, but I feel I want to bring some posts in, which are just going to creep in. And sort of creep off the edge of the paper. Nice bit of scale. That's like a shaded area there. So if we come back a little bit, we can see that's quite effective. Yeah, I think that really adds to it, actually. Quite a fan of that. Quickly back to the palette then, taking that white paint, I'm just going to mix it with a bit of that colour I've just been using. A bit of the brown sort of grey colour. There we go. We've got the light kind of coming in from this left side here. I don't care about things like where light's coming from, but anything goes. The more you paint, the more relaxed you get, to be honest. But just adding a bit of lightness down the edge of those posts will help them stand up. Don't think we'd see them over this side, but a little bit would help, just to give them some sort of, just to give them a bit of a, you know, some power, some presence. A few more dots and spots around on the bottom of those. This is just using the white, of course. That's my phone keeps making that noise, by the way. So if you can hear something going bzz, it's not anything I'm doing suspiciously wrong. It's my phone. It's literally just here and it keeps buzzing. It's people booking the workshop and various things. So thank you so much. If you have booked, I love that. What a difference that makes. If you've booked the workshop, folks, that's great. We'll have a look at the finished picture in a minute. But do please head on down to the description. There's a few things you can go into the workshop and have a look at the workshop page on the website. You can buy the previous ones. You can book the one for this weekend. Again, bottom of the screen, you can see just below where I'm sat here. 1st of May, paint a stunning lighthouse by the sea with striking cliffs, golden sands, and a beautiful evening, or, you know, a sunset or a sunrise. Anything goes with this, but a beautiful, beautiful sky with a lighthouse. It's going to be an absolute belter, folks. For £10 or $11.50, you can't go wrong. You need 3 colours, 3 brushes. You will produce a beautiful painting. It's just me and you. You see me, I don't see you. You can re-watch it as much as you like. And all you need is just very basic materials. All the information is down in the description below. Do pop your comments in the comment box as well. You can't beat a good mount. So let's take a look at, I'm going to zoom back on the picture here. Yeah, there's a camera up there. We're going to zoom back on the picture and we're going to pop a mount on this one, just to take a look. But that is a finished watercolour, a beautiful bluebell wood and watercolours. Absolutely love that, folks. That has made an absolutely stunning watercolour. I hope you have enjoyed that. That was about 47 minutes of painting time there. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to enjoy, and hopefully maybe even have a go yourself as well. Why not? So do make sure you subscribe to the channel, folks. I'd love you to do that. Hit the notification bell if you've not already. And I will see you very soon for some more watercolour painting with me, Mr. Palmer. Don't forget to check out those workshops. See you soon.